Well, first of all, I want to thank Larry for inviting me. Craig Johnson's your resident officer for this convention. I'm going to be heading to Seattle for the Northwest, but on the way over, Larry invited me to come to the convention. I thought I'd make a stop on my way, so I'm going to be leaving early Saturday morning. On a point of personal privilege, I just want to thank everyone in NAPS for their thoughts and prayers on the passing of my father last week, and all the cards and letters and everything else. You know, I'm going to talk about membership today, but the membership of NAPS and the support of my immediate family, I cannot thank you enough. You are wonderful. The NAPS organization really stepped up. And that's one of the things we want to talk about is membership. Even though we have our immediate family, we also have our NAPS family. To many of us, that's what we are, is a family of NAPS. One of the things I want to talk about is membership. And membership just isn't about, it's more than dues. It really is. I want to hit some highlights, and hopefully you can take this information and use it to help drive more membership and let people know what we're all about. This normally runs about 45 minutes to an hour. I will try to go through fast. If you want this presentation, I'll send it to Larry and he can send it out. You know, whatever you can use to get membership out is great. A couple of things I want to look at. Membership. Who are 95% of our membership is active, those of us who are currently working. I'm still working even though I'm on leave of absence from the post office. The other 5% is associate, and honorary members. You can make anyone in your organization or your branch an honorary member. But the idea is we have quite a few associates that are active, let me do this again, are active, you know, as officers. So that's very important, where 95% are active members, associates of 5% are almost half the officers in a branch. And our executive board is almost about a third. So a couple of things. Membership represents benefits, strength in numbers, financial strength, and opportunities. Those are the four things I'm going to talk about. And if I'm blocking you guys over here because I'm so tall, just let me know.
No.
Yeah, let's talk about benefits. When you're talking about benefits of NAPS, you'll always, what do I get for my dues money? Okay. One, you get a team of national, state, and local officers. Many of you are local officers, and we have the state officers, and your nationals, and Larry and Craig, and resident officers. We have over 300 plus local and state branches. Our legislative network with funding, our SPAC, I know you're promoting SPAC, so throw $1 into the pot to get a little snack pack over there, and buy your SPAC tickets. Consultative rights, our Title 39. You know, dealing with our pay, dealing with our benefits, and other issues that are impacting NAPS with regard to the mail flow coordinators, you know, how they're doing that with this change with APW. What are our rights to keep those jobs as EAS? Our disciplinary defense fund, active communication. When we're talking there, we've got our website, we've got our postal supervisor, we got our NAPS HQ to you, we got board memos, you know, that Larry sends out, you know, and any other kind of communication we're trying to do to keep you informed. We do have our scholarships and insurance plans. If you've got your May issue of the Postal Supervisor, we have a contract with a company called M3 Technology offering insurance to NAPS members. And with that, NAPS receives a royalty because of how many policies are coming out of that. So one, that's kind of a benefit, and especially the scholarships. The Vince Palladino Scholarship, and we have the Don Ledbetter. We did the Andy Sosi one, which was a special one this past year. Reasonable membership dues. Look at what everyone else is paying with regard to the league, NAPIS, and even the unions. You know, each branch is different with how much you charge, but on a national scale, you know, we have a per capita that we take from the national level, and I'll get to that. And other benefits, what you may do locally, initiatives you may be doing in your branch, whether you have retirement dinners, maybe you have picnics, whatever you may be doing to get your branch members involved. So, we have our benefits, strength in numbers. With benefits, I look at this. When we have the benefits, that moves to membership. So let's look at the strength in numbers that we have. First of all, about 70% of the EAS people are members. Okay? We have an economic impact on Capitol Hill. We talked about that at LTS. What each postal represents, not only NAPS members. Strong legislative voice. Again, it's us contacting our congressmen and women and senators about what we need to do to promote our legislative agenda to get our issues voted on, protect the post office, protect our jobs. Network of peers. Many of us in the field are calling one another for help, whether you're an SDO, you know, MCSO, an MOUSC, Mickey Mouse, whatever it is, whatever your acronym is, you're working together to help one another. And that's the duos happening, and the post plan, and anything else you can think of is very challenging. So you need that network to help get through that. Nationwide representation, that's what I talked about, strength in numbers. As we build our branches, we need to make sure that we're representing them. And strength in numbers is branch voting strength. You know, we're going to have a national convention next year. And it used to be the voting strength to get 1 vote for every 10 members, and it was based off of your per capita. Now I'm going to talk about that. We changed it at the national convention. Now it's the average number of members you have in your branch. You get 1 vote for every 10 members. So the more you increase membership, the more voting strength you have when you go to the national convention. That's your strength in numbers. This is not very popular. This is where we were in active and associate members in 2000, over 37,000 members. This is at the end of each December 31st. In 2012, down to 26,985. You were talking almost about $1 million in per capita that just NAPS receives alone in membership and dues. So when we're talking strength in numbers, as you can see, our numbers have declined. But what hasn't declined is the activity we're getting at LTS and the national conventions. Members are still coming to that, still supporting that. So as an organization, we need to start looking at the future. We are seeing the post office making changes, reducing staff. How are we going to adjust to that in the future? We need a plan. So the strength in numbers. We need to, in order to increase those, we need to strengthen our numbers. We need to promote the benefits I talked about. We need to represent our members. I have members call me and say, I don't know who my branch officers are. They won't represent me. No one's paying. They're paying dues. You step up as an officer, branch, represent the members. That's the benefit. That's going to strengthen that. They know they can count on NAPS. Mentor future officers. Well, you know, they talk about being 37 years old as a postal inspector. Unfortunately, I'm barely 37 inches tall, let alone 37. I don't qualify. But what we're seeing is the average age of NAPS members are around 50-ish. You know, who's going to be the officers of the future? You know? So that's what we need to look at. We need to mentor. We need to schedule branch meetings. I hear, oh, our branch hasn't had a meeting in months or years. As Secretary Treasurer, I'm giving money to somebody every month on the DCO, the dues checkoff. So have branch meetings, get people involved. Attend conventions and training, good example. Every time you go somewhere, try to bring a new member. Try to bring a first timer. Let's make sure that we're working on that. I don't know how many first timers are here at this convention, but I tell you what, it's a good turnout as I see, but that's going to be our future. Coordinate membership drives. Yes, we have what we call a membership drive at NAPS headquarters. If Craig doesn't count, but if he would, because he's a national officer, I'll go with Dawn. Dawn signs up a new member, she gets a $25 PNC gift card from NAPS to use however she wants. Now, we had a promotion we took from the Postmasters Committee from the National Convention to say, look, if Dawn signs up Jim gets, that's a new member, gets a $25 gift card. So that's kind of the incentive. So we've expanded that to September 30th. So the idea is everybody wins. I'm going to work with Lewis and Jay about advocating something for the rest of the year when I get back. And the idea is, I'm just throwing this out, it's not set in stone, that look, every sponsor's name will go into a hat at the end of the year. That sponsor will draw out one winner to get $100 in NAPS gift cards. Okay, great. But you know what? The branch they belong to, I advocate that they get a free registration to the national convention. So, hey, that's kind of low. You know, so the branch gets active, get their members. And I'm also advocating that the state that branch belongs to also gets a free registration to the national convention. For less than around $500, we can get everybody involved. So everybody has an opportunity to benefit. That's what we need. We're talking about strength in numbers, which also equates to financial strength. Nationally, our investment portfolio just topped over $12.2 million. In the last year, we made about 1.3. The value has gone up. We have a very conservative investment strategy. We have what we call a sweep account. When our investment portfolio, we have two accounts, a sweep account and our stocks and our bonds. When that hits $11 million or over, we sweep $500,000 into the sweep account, which is preferred stock that provides dividends. So we're sweeping profits. Because as we're seeing membership drops, we still have conventions to do. And coming out at the national, you may have gotten the minutes to the executive board meeting that we just had. We did a motion to pass that at LTS next year. If the funds are there, we're going to drop the registration to $125 to help support branch activity. and the national convention will be dropped to $130. That's going from 200 to 125. That's going from 185 to 130. The idea is we need to be able to help the branches who are losing members. So we're financially sound. We've got $20 million in the bank, but if we're not doing anything with that money to help you, it's kind of like having a food bank, but you're not feeding the poor, not feeding the hungry. That's what you need to do. We've got the money, we're financially sound. That's because of our investments. Our next building is worth $13.5 million, approximately. And we don't want it to go up too high because we still pay property tax on that. So if you say, oh, let's get it evaluated, maybe $20 million. Even though we're nonprofit, we have to pay property tax. So you don't want their home to be evaluated higher to pay more property tax. If we need to sell it, we would sell it, but we're not selling anything. We have positive cash flow from there. The business partnerships I talked about was the insurance companies and anything else we may be able to work with, getting more advertisement as postal supervisor, and of course, our supervisor political action committee, financial strength. That's where we're at. Membership dues. Our gross dues for this past fiscal year ended May 31st, 2012 was a little over $7 million. Annual per capita that NAPS kept was, 2.6 million. When I sent back to the branches, a little over about 4.5 million. Really want to know where your money goes? The NAPS per capita, people say, well, what are you getting from it? This is what we take at NAPS headquarters to operate, not what you get. Not what you get the difference, but what we use. Let's say your average dues is $10 per pay period, $260 that a member pays. 91 of that as an active member comes to NAPS headquarters annually. That's $3.50 a pay period. We have national convention constitution set-asides, $4 per member a year for training, $3 for national, $11 for the postal supervisor, and the DDF, $10.60. So NAPS operations gets about $62.40. So when you're looking at the difference there, the $91, that's what we're looking at. And for the associate members, you pay $65 and it's $32. One of the things we're looking at is you get the difference of the money, but NAPS HQ operations, that's what we have to work operations on. So when membership drops, our money coming in drops. So what do you need to do? Financial strength. Manage your dues checkoff. Collect and protect the dues, do a branch budget, and annual audits. Here's something on the dues checkoff. There's always those of you who work with it as secretary treasurers or treasurers, you'll see these designations. An adjustment may be made for back pay, a membership cancels, you decrease your dues or increase your dues, no deduct. If you got a member on without pay, you're being charged for their dues, NAPS is getting it, but you're not collecting money. And retirement and separations, and then of course we have an asterisk that we don't have a good address. Negative impacts to the DCO. Membership cancels, you lose dues. You drop your dues. No dues deducted for a member. Somebody retires and they don't come back as an associate, and somebody just quits or is removed from the post office. Those impact your funds. So what do we do to protect our financial strength? We need to make sure you collect anything that's in a no deduct. If you've got somebody who's on extended leave, maybe it's disciplinary, NAPS headquarters will take us $3.50 per pay period for that active member. If you don't tell us that they're in a no deduct, you have to contact that member and collect and have them pay you directly. If they refuse to pay, and I just wrote this in one of my NAPS HQU articles, you need to contact us and say, hey, look, they're not paying, they're not a good member, they're not a member of good standing, we need to take them off the rolls. We can contact shared services and have them removed from as a member. And then you're not going to get charged. But until then, NAPS will continue to take its $3.50 per pay period, and you as a branch will not get the money coming to you to help operate. Same with associate members. We take our $1.75, we, NAPS headquarters, and you have to collect from your associates. If you don't collect, and I will tell you this, we've had associate members pass away and nobody told us. They're not on a postal payroll. We've had people on the list that say, oh, they passed away 3 years ago. They're still paying. You know, that's the thing. Or maybe somebody said, I don't want to be an associate member anymore. You need to let us know. You need to do budget, dues assessments. Are you having enough dues taken out to be able to operate as a branch? Now again, NAPS takes us $91. The difference you do, can you function as a branch with the money coming in for the dues? And there's been branches who are still only paying, I kid you not, $4.50 a pay period. I'm giving some branches $5 a month. You know, I don't know how you operate as a branch that way. How are you going to represent members? Again, cover branch operations. You're going to have to represent people, go to meetings, conventions, training, and of course social events. Do you have enough dues coming in? You need to review your branch expenses, making sure that everything's accounted for. That's why we say, I call track the treasury. Do your annual audits and IRS tax filings. And I know I talked about that before on branch taxes. It's a requirement if you're a nonprofit or for-profit. But these are the things, you know, track the treasury, follow the money. Even the OIG and the inspection service, you know, they can track like those checks and who did what, who's on what camera. But the idea is you need to make sure you're keeping the financial integrity of your organization or your branch going. Which means when we have benefits, we should be able to improve our strength in numbers, which also improves our financial strength, which gives us chances when we have strong financial, we have more opportunities for our members. Well, here's an opportunity. Get back and try to collect on these. Get retirees to sign up. Collect for the no deduct. Determine if you really need to decrease your dues, and watch people who are canceling their membership. If they're canceling, why? That's another thing you need to look at. Why did somebody drop out of NAPS? They don't like the officers, they don't feel it's a benefit, who knows? They became a postmaster, and one of the other organizations in the postmaster said, you can't belong to NAPS anymore. That is not true. We have over 2,600 postmasters in our organization. So we can represent postmasters with regard to discipline. Other opportunities. Request a branch membership address list. And we need to fix bad addresses. Make sure your members are being communicated to. Very important. If they're not getting the newsletter, if they're not getting the postal supervisor, they're not getting the emails, they don't know what's happening. They think, oh, NAPS has just left me behind. You need to increase your communications. Officers training. We're in the process of updating the officers training manual, and I hope to have it ready by July 1st, possibly. It hasn't been updated since '05, so we have Charlie Seattle looking at all the discipline. I have Jay and Bruce Moyer looking at the legislative. So hopefully by July, we will have the new officers training manual. That will get people involved and be able to understand what's happening. NAPS officers. Many people then, when they get the training, they want to step up. The opportunity to be a NAPS officer, local, state, or national. You know, we have a national convention next year. All the national positions are open for anybody to step on up and run for office, just like you do for the state and in your local branch. Be a political advocate. Going to LTS, making sure our message is heard on Capitol Hill, dealing with your congressman and woman or senator. And affect NAPS business. Go to conventions, write resolutions, get on committees. Make it worthwhile. You run this organization. I don't. We do. So when you go to conventions, even here, you're going to have maybe constitutional changes. You're going to put in resolutions. Get involved. Read about the National Convention. Read about the Constitution and bylaws. This is our organization. We have an opportunity to affect how we do business. That's our opportunity to how we want to run our organization. Membership drives. Get retiring members to sign up. One of the things we're doing right now through our new DCO program, we call it Member Max, we're able to send out a letter every month to those who retired, have an RET, asking them to remain as an associate member. We send out a letter every month. So one month might be 500. That means 500 people retired, came off our rolls. It might be 300. So that's one of the things we're doing. Look at the non-member list, which we're sending out monthly. EAS vacancies are about 5,000 right now. The post office isn't going to fill them all, but when they start doing it, we'll have opportunities. And give incentives, like we're doing with the $25 gift card. You may be able to do something for your own branch. This is just some numbers here. If we have 3,000 vacancies, and we got 10% of them as members, that's how much annual per capita would come to NAPS, not counting your branch. There's 7,800 non-members right now. That's how much if we just get 10%, we'd add $70,000 to our NAPS national fund, our general fund. And if we just got 1,000 retiring members, 10%, we can add at least $9,100. These are opportunities to get membership. SPAC opportunities. In 2012, $163,000 was over donated. 563 individuals contributed, 203 via payroll deduction, and payroll deduction is generating about $62,000 in a year. About 38% of the SPAC is 38% of SPAC is payroll deduction right now of the funds. So let's look at SPAC. Active members at this time, it's dropped a little bit. At 5% more, the active donated $5 per pay period. That's how much extra we generate in SPAC. And if every active member donated $5 per pay period, we would be donating $3 million. Numbers are there. Same with associates. The amount that 10% of our associate members would donate, and if every associate donated $10 per month, how much we would be able to generate. I know I went through this quick. The way I look at it is membership represents the benefits. When we have benefits, we get members to sign up. So that builds our strength in numbers. Rails our strength in numbers. And as we build our strength in numbers, we build our financial strength. And the more financial strength we have, the more opportunities we will be able to provide to our members to do things, whether it go to conventions, training, doing social events. And if members see opportunity, when there's more opportunities, that adds to the benefits and just circles back around. The more opportunities, the more benefits, the more members sign up, the more financial strength. And to me, that's what it's about. It's a circle. It just keeps going. The more we can provide to our members, the more we can provide opportunities. And basically, membership is involved, getting involved. So whether it's at a national convention, a local, state, whatever it is, that's what it's about. Hopefully, I mean, it's just trying to say, hey, who's not coming to your branch meetings? How can you get them involved? What can you share with them? Hopefully you can share this with them to let them know we're more than just dues. We are a family. We have a lot to offer. And with that, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I know I kind of ran through it fast. Does anybody have any questions? I'd be more than happy to answer any, except for Gary. Go ahead, Gary.
Gary Schrader, Gateway Branch. Do we still have a mission statement?
Do we still have mission statements in our national constitution? Our objective, that's our mission statement. If you look at the Constitution, and you look at what our objective is for NAPS, that's our mission statement. It's in the Constitution.
You know, I think it'd be something nice if maybe every month put in our NAPS magazine, you know, one of the first few pages of, you know, stating the mission statement and what it is or our objective.
I'll write that down. I'll write it on the Larry's main schedule here. And again, Larry, thank you for the cheese, crackers, fruit, tea, pot. There's pot. This happened. Okay. I didn't. My glaucoma is fine. I can still count the money. All right, I'm going to put that down. Mission statement. Again, I mean, what ideas you? I mean, this is whatever you got. Yeah, Corey.
What do we do with our SPAC dollars? I know it goes to members of Congress and whatever, what do we do with that? Besides just give it to them?
Well, it's more than just giving it to them. One of the things that you notice on the, as I went through it briefly. Okay, I'll this. We get, I can tell you on average, anywhere from 30 to 40 daily faxes coming in asking NAPS to come to some sort of fundraiser for every congressperson, whatever, senator. What we do is we take our funds and we look at who's supporting us so we can get them reelected. It does not buy votes, it buys access. And granted, when you're doing an event in DC, they want $2,500. If we can get you, and I mean every member in here involved, and you can get to a local event, we will send $500 to a table for 5. The idea is we're supporting those candidates that are going to support our issues, postal or civil service wide, whatever we can do. Even with we're advocating for still 6-day delivery instead of 5 because that's the last resort. We're advocating for the pre-funding of the health benefits to be fixed. We need congressmen and women and senators to support our position. Just like when you go, every time we go up to LTS, those who've been there, there's how many other groups with name tags going, vying for the time and the votes and the support from their congressperson. So what we do, and what I like what we did this past year, we did it finally the first time in a budget for a SPAC. who we were giving money to and why. And I do sign SPAC checks because I'm on the, because we have to have 2 signatures. And one of the, Elliot Friedman, the new PAC manager, he'll come in and he'll explain to me why we're sending, money to this person, what event this is for, and how they voted for us. So the idea is, if there's someone you think that's supporting our issues and we haven't supported, let us know. And this isn't Republican, Democrat, Tea Party, Independent. This is postal. This is NAPS. Who's going to help benefit us? I don't care what their political affiliation is, as long as they're going to look at supporting our issues. And again, the idea is it costs money. And they, some people say we have a SNAP pack, very small compared to the NALC and APW and all these other, the NRA and all these other, maybe teachers associations. I'm just throwing this out. But we have to do what we can with our funds to be able to gain access, to be able to get the ear of that congressperson to make sure they hear our issues. And it may only be 2 minutes. I've had an opportunity to go to some of these and sit down, and the good thing that I like was when I sit down at a table, and one was from Wisconsin. He just got elected, and Wisconsin is part of the Central Region. Everybody else is lobbyists. I mean, we have Elliott, and then we have, there's the NALC, the APW, the Fed Postal Coalition. I'm sitting there, and they're all, Bruce doesn't have an outstanding job, but Bruce isn't a postal employee. I can sit there and say, I'm a postal employee. Here's what's happening. It impacts me personally. The pre-funding, having to pay more on our health benefits, the pay freezes. So when they hear that, again, the lobbyists are there to lobby for their organizations. Technically, I'm an unofficial lobbyist, but I'm postal. And they hear from me what's happening. The parcels, the packages, what we need to do, keeping the overnight delivery, how it's impacting service. And of course, we bleed postal blue and we want service for our customers. So I know it's a long answer to a short question, but the idea is gaining access. But when the funds run out, how are we going to get our message across? We can get to the Hill, but they need to get reelected to continue to support our efforts. And let's face it, not much has been happening in Congress. How many years we go and it's like, oh yeah, we're going to vote, and the vote gets delayed. Now we have a thing with the IRS. No wonder some of you branches haven't got nonprofit status yet. They're looking at some other groups. So anyway, but a good question.
One of the things you talk about pay packages, about the letter that came out a few months ago, talking about that the Postal Service wanted to open up negotiations about pay again.
Sure.
And it was like not to do it. And I guess everybody's wanting to know what the exact reason is.
Not to do it? Or
I think I understand why not to do it, because we already went to fact finding
Right. We went back, yeah, we went back.
and stuff. And one of the things, and that ties back into some of the membership and some of the people that give up NAPS in the last 5 or 10 years, right? They come back and say, well, NAPS not doing anything for us, the unions are getting this and that, as far as the percentage, because cost of living for EAS is, not even there, it's paid for performance. So those are some of the negative things. And I know that our pay was tied to the federal 2-year freeze. If the feds don't freeze, does that mean we're actually going to move forward or not?
Okay, well, we were told we have a 2-year freeze like all the other organizations. If the federals are frozen this year, then we're frozen. And we got a letter from the post office. So in 2014, starting October 1, fiscal year 2014, we're back in pay for performance. We don't have PES, we have corporate unit goals. So we'll be in a PFP, so whether there'll be technically money or not. The reason we said no to going back in, even though they asked, I know it's a political move by the post office, that Congress know they're asking. Had we said yes, now we just spent, it's a couple $100,000 doing fact finding. It cost some money to do our report. It didn't cost as much as we thought. If we said yes and opened up, the post office tomorrow could say, you're back to 72%, and they're going to could actually cut her. Because of Title 39, we would open the door for them to say, okay, let's discuss it, we don't agree with you, and cut.
And that's what I was telling, some of the members when they asked me, I said, I think if you open up the door, they could go backwards.
They go backwards. And like we said in our message, we've already made enough sacrifices. And, and the unions were guaranteed 3.5% or whatever, and they're getting, and my whole thing on, this is Brian talking on the the AMS positions and now the mail flow coordinators. Look, they're gonna be start consolidating more. The union's gonna be losing people. So where are they gonna get more clerks? They're trying to get it from the EAS. Though we know the work is EAS, but that's the biggest challenge we have. We're looking at right now our legal standing, so they're not hiring really more craft employees. So they're gonna start pulling from the EAS and say everything, oh, answering the phone's a craft job. Really? You know, so from that standpoint, we felt if we opened up the door, and I just told Lewis, just write the post office a check for what they gave us, $0. That's it, write them a check. And the idea was, by opening that door, I could tell you, they could say, well, look, we're gonna cut 5%. Yeah, they could have, because we're not in fact finding anymore, and they've already consulted with us on pay. But if we don't open it, we're in Title 39. And we're holding the line on that if we have to go. Good thing we have $12.2 million in the bank if we have to go to court. You know, they may try to bust us, but I think we have. They might be able to bust the other organizations, well, the management organizations, but we're financially sound and we could, you know. But I think you're talking Title 39. They can't go back and just open it up without going through the law. So we didn't want to open that door. What was the game? There wasn't. So, you know, if you want to be like, you know, some of the other politicians give back 5% of your pay, I'd say give it to SPAC if you're going to get 5%. You know, give it to the auxiliary if you're going to get the 5%. Give it, you know, give it to someone who's working for us.
Have you heard anything about the Fed? Have you heard anything about the Fed for this year yet? Anything about?
No, nothing yet. I mean, there was something that on hold. We're still, I think they're trying to figure out everything else, sequestration and everything else going on. So, and I don't want to, what's my time, Larry? What am I doing?
You ran out 15 minutes ago.
Okay.